On the night of August 4th, 2019, the Kashmir Valley was silent but not peaceful. Within hours, tens and thousands of additional soldiers were deployed across the region. Transport aircrafts like C-17 Globemaster rapidly airlifted the troops into the valley. Satellite phones were distributed to security officials. Internet services were completely shut down. Communication lines were dark. Political leaders were placed under house arrest. Public gatherings were banned. No one knew exactly what was coming up. But by the morning of August 5th, 2019, one of the most controversial provisions in Indian Constitution would have been changed forever. The Article 370. To understand what had just happened, we must dive into the topic. In August 1947, British rule in India has finally come to an end. The subcontinent was divided into two nations, India and Pakistan. However, the map of South Asia was far from settled. More than 565 princely states existed across the region. These states were ruled by the local monarchs who were given choice to join Pakistan, join India, or theoretically remain independent. The two key political figures worked to integrate these states, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel for India and Muhammad Ali Jinnah for Pakistan. Most states joined one of the two nations, but one state hesitated, the Jammu and Kashmir. The Jammu and Kashmir was ruled by Maharaja Hari Singh. Unlike many other rulers, he did not want to either join India or Pakistan. Instead, he dreamt of keeping Kashmir as an independent state, sometimes described as the Switzerland of the East. To maintain peace, Maharaja Hari Singh has proposed a standstill agreement to both India and Pakistan. Pakistan accepted the agreement. India asked for further discussion. For a brief moment, it seemed like Kashmir might remain neutral. But history has other plans. On October 22nd, 1947, armed Persian tribal fighters crossed the Kashmir borders from the Pakistan northwest frontier. They advanced rapidly towards Srinagar. Reporters has described villages being attacked and civilians fleeing. The state's small military forces struggled to resist. Within days, the capital city was in danger. Maharaja Hari Singh faced a critical decision. Without outside help, Kashmir could fall. He urgently appealed India for a military assistance. India agreed to send military support, but only on one condition. Jammu and Kashmir had to formally accede to India. On October 26, 1947, Maharaja Hari Singh signed the Instrument of Accession, the legal document that officially made Jammu and Kashmir the part of India. However, the agreement contained a special clause. The clause 7 stated that the ruler was not obligated to accept any future constitution of India automatically. This clause would later become extremely important. On October 27, 1947, Indian troops were airlifted to Srinagar. The first Indo-Pakistan War over Kashmir had begun. The conflict continued for more than a year. Eventually, the issue was taken to United Nations. In January 1949, a ceasefire was declared under UN supervision. The UN proposed a plebiscite, a vote where people of Kashmir could decide their future. However, this vote required Pakistan to first withdraw their forces. But that withdrawal never happened. The region remained divided. The territory controlled by Pakistan became known as the Pakistan Occupied Kashmir, or POK. Because of the unique circumstances of Kashmir's accession, India created a special constitutional arrangement. This arrangement was drafted by N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar. The result was Article 370 of Indian Constitution. The article establishes that Jammu and Kashmir is now officially a part of India. However, the Indian Parliament would have limited powers in the state. India would only control defense, External affairs, communication. The state were allowed to have its own flag. This made Jammu and Kashmir different from every other state in India. In 1954, another major development has occurred. President Dr. Rajendra Prasad issued a presidential order. This order inserted Article 35A into the constitution. Unlike most constitutional amendments, this change was not passed through parliament. Article 35A gave Jammu and Kashmir legislature the power to define the permanent residents. These residents received special privileges including exclusive rights to government job, exclusive rights to own property, exclusive rights to settle permanently, and also access to scholarship and welfare benefits. Non-residents could not buy lands or settle in this region. Article 370 also contained an unusual condition. It stated that the article could only be removed within the recommendation of Jammu and Kashmir's Constituent Assembly. However, in January 1957, the assembly had dissolved itself. It never recommended removing Article 370. As a result, many legal scholars had believed that the article had effectively been permanent. Decades later, the political situations in Kashmir evolved again. In 2014 elections, not even a single party has won a majority. The People's Democratic Party won 28 seats. The Bharatiya Janata Party had won 25 seats. Despite ideological differences, the two parties formed a coalition party. In the year 2015, however, the alliance collapsed in June 2018 when the BJP withdrew support. The state government fell. The governor's rule was imposed. Later, the presidential rule was declared in year 2018. Under the presidential rule, the Indian Parliament assumed the power of the state legislature. This constitutional situation would later become the key factor in the event of 2019. In August 2019, the Indian government prepared a major constitutional move. The operation involved senior leaders including Home Minister Amit Shah and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Security forces were heavily deployed. On August 5, 2019, a presidential order modified Article 367 of the Constitution. The reinterpretation allowed them the term Constituent Assembly to be read as Legislative Assembly. Since the state was under presidential rule, Indian Parliament acted as a legislative assembly. Here comes the important part. Parliament then recommended the removal of Article 370. The President approved the resolution.
Move for review to introduce Jammu Kashmir Reservation Second Amendment Bill.
राष्ट्रपति संसद की सिफारिश पर यह घोषणा करते हैं कि यह दिनांक जिस दिन भारत के राष्ट्रपति द्वारा इस घोषणा पर हस्ताक्षर किए जाएंगे और इसे सरकारी गैजेट में प्रकाशित किया जाएगा, उस दिन से अनुच्छेद 370 के सभी खंड लागू नहीं होंगे, सिवाय खंड 1 के नामक तदनुसार पढ़ा जाएगा.
The special status of Jammu and Kashmir was also revoked. Along with making Article 370 inoperative, the Indian Parliament introduced a major change, the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019. For decades, the Jammu and Kashmir has existed as a full-fledged state within India, but the new law altered the political map of the region. The former state was recognized into two separate union territories. The first was Jammu and Kashmir, which would continue to have a legislative assembly, allowing elected representatives to participate in governance. The second was Ladakh, which would be administered directly by the central government through a lieutenant governor without its own legislative assembly. The recognition officially came into effect on 31st October 2019. With the removal of this special status, Indian laws became fully applicable in this region. Several national laws related to governance, social welfare, and economic development were extended to Jammu and Kashmir. Supporters of this decision believed this would encourage greater integration, development, and investment in this region. However, the move also sparked the significant political debates, with critics raising concern about federalism and the manner in which the decisions were implemented, regardless of different perspectives. Reorganization marked a major turning point in the recognition of constitutional history of Jammu and Kashmir. The story of Article 370 is more than a legal or political debate. It's about a story shaped by chaos of partition, the conflict of 1947, the decades of constitutional negotiation, and a historic decision in 2019. For nearly 70 years, the Article 370 defined as a unique relationship between Jammu and Kashmir and the Union of India. Its removal brought an end to one of the most distinctive constitutional arrangements in the country's history. Supporters view this decision as a step towards greater national integration and development, as critics continued to debate its implication for federalism and democratic process. But beyond politics, the event surrounding Article 370 reminds us about something deeper. The reveal of history, law, and political choices can shape the destiny of entire region. And as the story of Jammu and Kashmir continues to unfold, the legacy of Article 370 will remain an important chapter in constitutional journey of India. Finally, the story of Article 370 is not just about law, it's about history, identity, and the future of the nation. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.